Hey everybody, Matt from Eastwood. We're here in the Eastwood garage doing another live tech session for you guys. For any of you guys that haven't watched one of these before, we try to make it pretty interactive. So we're broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, and also Eastwood.com. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can join the chat and chat live. Randy's here standing in for Scotty C.
Yes, I'm here for Scotty C again, hoping to make him proud today, at least more proud than he was last week. So if you have any questions, post them. And I'll throw them out to Matt and we can answer them. And don't forget, Thursday, we have Condon Skelly Collector Car Insurance here. So if you're interested in collector car insurance, if you have any questions, join us at 3 o'clock Eastern time, and they'll take all your questions. And they even insure project cars. So if you're wondering what to do, if you're in the middle of a project, you know, Condon Skelly has the answers. So join us Thursday. So let's hear about some 2K Aero-Spray, Matt.
So today we're going to do a little discussion on 2K Aero-Spray, specifically our Chevy Orange. That's probably, out of all of our engine paints, that's our most common that we do offer. It's most popular by far. So we have our 2K Aero-Spray. We've offered it for many years in a brush-on, or you can mix it and put it in a paint gun and spray it. But because it's so popular, we've picked some of our favorite colors and coatings to put in the 2K Aero-Spray. If you guys aren't familiar with what this coating or can technology is like, basically the can has a bladder inside of it that has the activator in there, and it's kept separate from the paint or primer or clear, whichever you're using today. We're going to be showing engine paint, and it keeps it separate. So what you do when you want to actually use it is on the top of the can here, on the top of the cap, there's a little button in there. So you can pull that little button out like so, and it goes on the bottom of the can here. What there is, there's a little area here where you put the can on. There's a little pin in the center. You put that on, and you put that on, and I'm going to actually puncture this because I'm going to shake it a little bit to show you guys. So you can either put it down on the cap like this, and you can push down on it, and that's all you need to do. Once you feel that resistance go away, you've punctured the can. We got the activator is now inside of the can with the paint or the primer or the clear, depending on what you're using. And then we can start shaking the can. And about 2 to 3 minutes, you need to shake the can to get the activator fully mixed so that you're ready to go. So while I'm shaking that, I'm going to show you guys. We have our Chevy Orange here on. This is a chassis that has a lot of our coatings on it, but our Chevy Orange is here on this big block to give you guys what it can look like once applied. So this paint, it's just like spraying with it's just like spraying with a paint gun, because it is an activated or catalyzed product. This is going to actually mix. It's going to cure completely, so that way when you apply this, it's going to be resistant, which unlike the 1K component paints, it's going to be pretty resistant to fuel. So if you're painting this on something or even oil, as long as you're not having prolonged chemicals that are sitting on it, it is resistant to that. So if you use one of these paints, it's pretty common to use these on motorcycle gas tanks and things like that. I've seen guys do. If you do spill some gas on it, it's not going to immediately just dissolve it and start running off of the part. So you can use this, and you can be pretty sure that it's going to be able to withstand any type of spills that you may get. So we're going to go over here to the board with Joe, and I'm going to keep shaking this a little more. And what we're going to show you is another feature of this can. The spray pattern is really great on it. Now I put my gloves on and all that right away. Now this is, like I said, this is catalyzed, and it does have that smell or the fumes like you would see when you're spraying with a paint gun. So you do want to wear proper protection here. So we're mixing that up. One thing I'll show you guys is on top of the can here, on the nozzle, another cool feature is the nozzle is actually adjustable to change your spray pattern. So by twisting this nozzle, we can change the spray pattern to give you a wider or smaller fan. So depending what you're doing, you can really make sure that you get the most out of the can. You're not spraying a ton of overspray over an area and not on your item you want to paint. So got that shook pretty good. All right, let's see here. I'm going to just put a little up here before. All right, so we will turn the nozzle one way here. I'm going to do a little spray there. I'm going to turn it all the way the other way. You can see we're already getting a wider spray pattern there just by turning the nozzle just a little bit. So we're getting all the way from here to here where it's much tighter in here than we were getting. So we're spraying something that's kind of smaller here. We're going to do the valve cover for this engine. So I'm going to probably turn it back to kind of where we were there so we can get a good spray pattern. But that spray pattern is fantastic. It's, you know, probably equal to what you're doing with a spray gun. So pretty happy with that. So we can go over to the valve cover here. Any questions while I'm doing my last shaking here?
All that just to say, no, we don't have any questions yet. We have a lot of people watching and a lot of comments.
Good.
Oh, do you here we go. One just popped up on YouTube. Do you need to use a primer before spraying this on a block?
Oh, good. So this paint is direct to metal. You can spray it direct to metal if you'd like to. We do offer, in addition, Joe shot it in the beginning here, but I'll bring it over him to get a shot. We do offer a high temp engine primer that's also good up to 650 degrees. So you can spray it with a primer, most definitely, if you're doing that. If you want that extra protection, there's no problem with doing that. But the paints are made to be direct to metal, so you can apply it directly on the valve cover with bare metal if you so choose to. But adding the primer will give you a little bit of protection, additional protection for sure. All right, so I'm going to put this on here. And I basically media blasted this whole valve cover. If you're doing direct to metal, you want to try and media blast or abrade it as good as you can because this has all kinds of nooks and crannies. Getting a DA sander in there with 80 grit would be difficult. So I took the media blaster, blasted all the old paint off of it, got the thing nice and clean, sprayed it down with pre, and wiped it off a couple times, and it should be pretty darn clean now. So I'll show you guys the spray pattern on this. I'll go on the other side. You can see the pat, you know, to do something on an engine part like this does not take much at all. Just hitting a couple little spots I might have missed there. I think we got pretty much the whole thing. If Joe, you want to come in there, you can get a good shot. You can see the coverage is fantastic on this. So because it has that great spray pattern, we're not doing multiple coats. We're not wasting. I could dial the spray nozzle in just right so that I can get the most, you know, the majority of the paint's going on the item and not going all over the place or it's spitting or sputtering like a lot of paint cans tend to do. So this can is good for 48 to 72 hours is your time frame. It is catalyzed, so you do have a time frame that you need to use this within. What we've seen some customers have done in the past, and we've tested a little bit, if you keep the can cool, so if you know that maybe you need to use a little bit more, do a little touch up or take something apart, you can keep it cool in a cool area, and it can actually prolong the life. We pretty much guarantee it to 48 to 72 hours, but if you want to try and push that a little bit, you can try putting it like in a little got a little shop fridge or something like that, you can set it in there, and that'll actually, it's a cool little tech tip. You can keep it in there, and that will prolong the life a little bit. So if you're doing a couple small parts, you know you have a few things coming up and it's going to be a little longer, you can get it to go a little bit longer if you keep it cool. So now that we have a couple coats on this, we can, or I'm sorry, a single coat on here, we can put another coat or two if we so choose to. Just like traditional paint, depending on the weather, the flash time is anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, somewhere in there. But 15 to 20 minutes, if you're spraying in 70 to 80 degree weather, you're going to be just fine. It pretty much cures within 24 hours, so if you spray this, you can let it sit overnight. Again, the key thing there is the temperature. That's probably the biggest mistake that I see people make, whether it's spraying with a paint gun or it's spraying with an aerosol can. If you're spraying in a temperature that's far too cold, it's going to take much longer to dry and cure, or possibly could never cure and have issues with lifting. So the sweet spot, again, is 70 to 80 degrees is really the best time. And if you let it sit 24 hours overnight, you're going to be just fine. We could clear coat this. We do offer a couple different clear coats in the 2K Aero-Spray. So you can apply a clear coat over this if you want more of a matte or satin finish. We do offer that. Or we have a high gloss that's really nice. We've used that before on things like on a bumper cover, actually, on the Mustang has some of that on it for a small job. Any other questions we have? This thing's looking pretty good.
That was it for, we had questions. Most of them were pretty easy to answer.
Sweet.
One thing that came up a few times was, can you use it on your headers?
Oh, okay.
But we offer a header paint that's
Yes.
good to 1400 degrees, where this is 650.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and I've used it, and it does last. It lasts for a pretty long time on headers. So
Yeah.
So I put a link in Facebook and
cool.
YouTube if anybody's into the header paint.
Yeah, and make sure you're not, a question, something I've seen come up before in the Q&A is the high temp primer. I know everybody loves the prime stuff. If you're doing our header paint, you cannot, that's the same as the rest of the paints, it's 650 degrees. So if you want to do your headers, you do need to do them direct to metal. So you need to prime them and then put that on there. So you can either do our brush on or foam brush method, or you can use the spray cans. But otherwise, this is good for engine blocks. You can do transmissions. You can do, you know, valve covers, pretty much anything. The only thing that you ever may have is around the exhaust ports here on the engine. Occasionally down in here, depending how what engine you're using or how hot it gets in there, you may see higher temperatures in there where you could have that. But otherwise, there's really no issues at all with spraying this pretty much on anything in the engine bay except for headers or exhaust manifolds. So this is our Chevy Orange, probably our most popular one. Again, the 2K Aero-Spray. That is a catalyzed paint, and this comes in a bunch of different colors. So if you're a Ford guy, don't be mad, we do have Ford right on the website, so you can get the Ford blue and spray your parts with that. But the Chevy Orange, we figured we should, that's one of our most popular ones. And you can also at the same time buy the primer, and you can prime first if you so choose to. So that's pretty much it for this. This is coming out real good. I think I might put another coat on, one more coat on once this tacks up good, and then this will be good to put right back on the engine and be looking good as new. Any other questions we have?
That's all the
Cool.
questions for today.
All right, guys, that's all I have for today. Tomorrow, I think you're doing respirators. Is that what the?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's respirator.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Scotty C.
Scotty C is going to be doing.
I gotta turn on my mic. Scotty C's gonna be mad at me. I forgot to turn my mic again. Yeah, Scotty C tomorrow is respirators. If anyone can make respirators exciting, it's Scotty C.
Yes.
That is it, right? Is it tomorrow, respirators?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And what's Thursday?
I should know this. I'm the one who wrote it down, probably.
Well, I just know because I'm
at
not
3
here tomorrow.
o'clock. And Thursday's Condon Skelly car insurance. So we got 2 good ones coming up.
Cool.
So.
All right, cool, guys. Thank you for joining along. As always, if you have any ideas for future broadcasts, feel free to drop them in the comments for us. If you guys have painted your engines with our engine paint, drop us a photo in the comments. We'd love to see them, and we do repost them on social media, give you guys a shout out. So that's all I got for today. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll catch you later.